What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we want to talk about why it is so important that soccer players work on jump training, and we're giving you 6 exercises that we love to do with our soccer players to increase their performance. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays, so make sure you subscribe to catch all of them. Hope you enjoy it. All right, so there's 2 main reasons why we think every single soccer player needs to be doing jump training. So the first reason is going to be injury prevention. We see it all the time, the amount of injuries that occur in soccer, from especially non-contact injuries, and those numbers are even higher when we're looking at female athletes. So we see this a lot, whether it's coming off of a jump, if we're just doing a harsh cut, if we step wrong. These injuries occur a lot, whether it's ankle, knee, there's so many things that can go wrong. But one of the great things about jumping is it works on these elements to help reduce the risk of non-contact injuries. So one of the best things is it teaches landing mechanics. So if we're coming off of a jump, right, sometimes there's not much you can do if you bump in with someone and you get thrown off. However, if you have a solid base, if you have proper landing mechanics, chances are that it's going to help you when you do run the risk of, bumping into someone and landing all weird. Or if you're just all by yourself and you land, let's say, on one leg. If you do a lot of jumping, your body learns how to land, how to absorb these forces in a correct way. So works on the landing mechanics. It also, like I just mentioned, works on force absorption. There's so much force absorption required in sports, not even if we're just coming off of a jump, right? But if I'm just trying to sprint, have a harsh decel step, go backwards, for example, or a harsh step here, cut going this way. The forces on our body are tremendous, 5 to 7 times, sometimes 7 to 8 times the amount of force, or at times body weight of force, right? So we really need to make sure that not just our muscles can handle this, but our joints, our tendons, right? That structural tissue. And it needs to go all the way down. We need our core to be able to handle these harsh cuts. When we watch these soccer players and they're doing these aggressive movements, really being shifty, going from one direction to the next, coming down from a jump, the amount of force is insane. So when we work on jumping, we're working on that ability to absorb force and then later utilize that force, but to be able to withstand it and overcome it, since there is such a great amount of force on your body. So that is one of the most important reasons, especially if we're going lateral. We see it a lot, the amount of lateral injuries, even if I'm going this way and then I go cut to bring it back in the other direction. If we can teach our body to handle all of these forces, then chances are we're gonna set ourselves up to, in the future, not necessarily have the risk of impact, the risk of injury from these common movements. And you can't prevent all injuries. Injuries are going to happen, but maybe we can reduce I combined 2 words, reduce the risk of a serious injury, right? If I land weird, maybe I'm lucky enough to just get away with an ankle sprain, right? I know ankle sprains still suck, but maybe get away with an ankle sprain versus landing weird and boom, completely tearing everything in my knee. So we need to be strong all the way from the feet, knees, hips, keep the core tight, and jumping really works on this. The second reason is it is fantastic for power development, fast force production. So when we jump, it's one of those plyometric, movements. So it really works on a fast stretch, that amortization phase, that quick transfer of a load and go. And then obviously the concentric, that pure power production. So for this standpoint, it is critical that every soccer player jumps. And a lot of the times when athletes come in here, soccer players come in here, they ask, hey, why am I doing so much jumping? Obviously we get into the injury reduction, but also there is a massive correlation between jumping and sprint speed, right? So yes, we do jump in soccer. We're going up for headers. We're trying to win the ball, but also that correlation between jump ability and sprint speed, your ability to produce force fast, it goes hand in hand. So if we can increase your jump ability, right, like a broad jump, or if we can increase your ability to jump up, then that is really going to translate to your ability to sprint quickly, right? Especially those first couple steps to just explode out. Because if I'm standing here to do a broad jump, right, it's load and go, and I'm trying to get out as fast as I can. I don't want, I'm not taking a step back to to then jump forward. So that same movement, same mechanism will transfer to my sprint, to my explosive steps, especially building up strong feet, strong ankles. You guys hear us talk about that all the time. So if we're talking about sprint speed, right, there's that huge correlation. But also when we're jumping in different directions, as you see us do a lot, that's going to help with the change of direction, with the agility, with that explosiveness. If I'm trying to shuffle this way and then push out, for example, or just shuffle this way to then shuffle back, right? If I do some skaters, then it's teaching me the ability to absorb force, transfer really fast, and then utilize all that energy to help pop me out. So if you guys watch, right, if I do a skater back and forth, that's super similar to having to transition from a shuffle back and forth. So for that ability of fast force production, if you follow us on Instagram, you will have seen the other day, we made a post. Elite athletes who are trying to be explosive need the ability to produce force fast. Slow force production is not going to help someone who needs to produce force in like 0.2 seconds, 0.3 seconds, most soccer players, right? So that's why obviously it's important to hit our typical strength stuff. But by coming and jumping, you work on that ability to produce force at rapid speeds, similar to what you would get out on the field. So we're gonna run through 6 jumping exercises that we love, that all soccer players gotta do. First exercise is the trinity of jumping. We do this with every single brand new athlete who comes in here. We work on broad jumps, squat jumps, and lateral jumps. So starting off, we just have a simple double leg broad jump. So from here, we just jump forward and we make sure we stick the landing. So that ability to be down here, we do a lot of snap downs at the start. You guys have seen us do that to work on this ability, but we land here, squeeze your butt, slight bend in the knees, just grab that ground with your feet. So we do a lot of this. The landing is very important for injury prevention, and then you can work on that, the force production capabilities from the actual jump. So we're here, we just hit some jumps. We eventually will get to single leg. So whether for force production, right, we're right here, a single leg jump, we can still hit a double leg land. And then eventually we'll wanna get, single leg to single leg. Sometimes we'll even go double leg to single leg, working on that ability. And then we have squat jumps. So broad jumps took us forward, squat jumps taking us up. So here we jump up high. Once again, work on that landing. There's so many variations we can do. Obviously all the double, single, even split. I love this one, a split stance broad jump right here, because that split often mimics our sprint. Starting in our sprint here, I know we don't have like stationary sprint starts in soccer, but if I'm just here and then boom, I gotta go, right? You're in that split. So that's a great first step one right there, especially if I'm backpedaling to then go out. And then we go lateral, double leg, boom, right here. We also can get a single leg right here, switch back, skaters going back and forth. So lateral might be one of the most important jumping exercises for injury prevention, because when I was talking about it, right, it works on this ability to absorb force as I'm going this way, to absorb those lateral forces. We know soccer, it's a big lateral force if I'm just hitting like quick movements, ball at the feet. So that's like the trinity. Whew, got me out of breath. We're working on that with every single athlete. This is the foundation. From here, you can build. Next up, we're going single leg zigzag hops. Everybody say hi to Spencer. Mid yawn. So I love this one because it's single leg, so you have to absorb the force. Different versions of this one as well. We can just go to where we're working on the landing. We can go, as you saw in a couple of videos ago, max distance to work on that power. We can also go continuous, so one leading to the next to work on linking up, repeated ability. That is so important for sports, that repeated ability. I like these as well because they're in that 45-degree. Number 3, I feel like a broken record because I put this exercise in like every single video. Multi-directional plate hops. I'm gonna make a t-shirt that has multi-directional plate hops. I love these. These ones gotta be top 5 favorite exercises of all time for me. This is fantastic to build up our feet, build up our ankles. We're going different directions, okay? So we start here. We're going up, back, over, just like this. back and forth. I love this one. You can change the get different plates so the height's different. You can space them out more. You can also start double leg if you need to kind of get the hang of it. And then you can work your way up to going fast. Because at the end of the day, all of this has to translate to soccer. So starting off, I can go slowly, and that's going to help. But then I'm gonna wanna get to the point where I can go really fast, right? Hit and go, tap and go, while being stable. Because stability through jumping movements is critical for soccer players, right? I can't be like all over the place as I'm jumping. You gotta be stable. We gotta practice being stable. So I'm here and I'm in control of my body the entire time. I have that ability to hit and go, absorb force from different angles. Next, we have multi-directional hurdles. So you guys can kind of tell by this theme, a lot of what we do is multi-directional. We're starting off double leg. The hurdles, we're going forward, sideways, forward again, sideways, back the other side. So that ability to go from one direction to the next, produce force to get yourself there, the body control, the landing mechanics. An awesome thing about hurdles is you can set them up pretty much any way you want. So this is how we're doing it. I think Spence is gonna attempt to go single leg. It's been a long morning, so we'll see how this goes. A solid effort. We'll try that again. So single leg is really great as well. You can go same leg like Spencer's doing. You can go like jump forward on one and then kind of skater it so you land on the other lateral. Let's see if he understands what I'm saying. Oh yeah, quality. Oh, I spoke too soon. I jinxed it. But you guys get the idea, like that. Another awesome thing we like to do with hurdles is go rotational as well. So like if Spence were to do a broad jump or like a forward jump over and then fully rotate his body. I was gonna get into this one a little bit next, but rotational jumping, this one is something that every single soccer player has to do. The amount of rotation in this sport is crazy. The amount of anti-rotation in this sport is crazy as well. One thing I forgot to mention why I love hurdles, they're different from like boxes, for example, because it requires you to jump high because you want to clear the hurdle so you don't eat it like Spencer almost did. But you also have to land from this height. So if I'm doing a box jump, right, if I'm jumping up here, then I don't have to work on landing from this, I just land here. So that's great in its own. But when we do something like a hurdle, for example, I have to jump over and I also have to land that ability. All right, number 5, we have 2 different versions. We have random jumps and we have reactive jumps. So starting off with random jumps, I think you've seen us do this before. You're just gonna be jumping however you want, completely random. As you can see Spencer doing in the clips, you can go double leg, single leg, from double to single, whatever you want, rotational. Make sure you get some backwards in there as well. It's super important to work on backwards jumping. So I love this because it's random. You don't have something like predetermined in your head. You have to just react to how you're going, how your body's positioned. Sometimes you have to go, against momentum. Like if I keep jumping here and I start leaning this way, like what can I do to get out of it? Do I have to put another foot down and jump out of it? Can I go back the other way? How can I control rotation? Because it's very important to control rotation for soccer. So random jumps are fantastic. You can go different heights. You've seen us do this before. If we get some plates, some boxes, just some jumping on the ground, mix it up. Make sure you're changing the demands that you're requiring your body to jump. And then reactive jumps, we'll show you guys a clip of this. It's essentially one person calling out what the other is doing. He doesn't know what he has to do, but he has to react to what I'm saying, works on that quickness, works on also that ability to absorb force fast. Broad, left, right, up, broad, right.
Left, right, broad, up, broad, right, left.
All right, final one, we're going banded jumps. So I love doing these to work on force production. So one variation, we'll do a banded broad jump. You don't want to hold it so much to where they literally can't jump or to where a form breaks, but you're here, light resistance. They just now have to jump through that resistance. So you have to produce a little bit extra force. Really works on that ability. Make sure you don't go super slowly though, right? We need fast force. And it's also great for landing because now you're trying to land as something's pulling you back. So you need great landing mechanics and strength as you land. You guys can go single leg as well. Like I like a single leg continuous. So like 3 jumps in a row, like having to really pull. That one's fantastic. And then I love banded lateral jumps as well. You've seen us do a couple of variations. So Spencer just wants to go double leg lateral, boom, sticker right there. Another one, we'll go from one leg to the next, and then like some baby jumps back. So with like one leg to the next, baby jumps back as I'm pulling him. So now he has to control being pulled this way, control that ability on one leg. So hitting some banded jumps are fantastic. Love doing these with our athletes. So hopefully this helped. If you're a soccer player, get you jumping in. Please subscribe, please like. Spencer, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.